Our studio guests are already here. Mr. William Grand Jalopler. Mr. Jalopler is the Director of Banking at the Central Bank of Liberia. And then we also have Mr. Saros Kokogule Badio. I call him Slay Pitches. He's also here. And of course, Saros Badio is the head of corporate communications at the Central Bank of Liberia. I'm sure you develop a lot of interest to follow the conversation because we're talking about the infusion, the printing and infusion of the new currency. And this is something that all of us are waiting for. So I'm sure you will follow this discussion to the latter. In the meantime, let's play this and we'll be back. You're listening to the Super Money Show, rated on the OBC 99.9 and other frequencies across Liberia. Like I said to you earlier, our guests on this first lap of the program are here already, and of course, they are folks from the Central Bank of Liberia. We have Mr. William Grand Jalopler. Mr. Jalopler is the Director of Banking, and Mr. Saros Kokogule Badio. Mr. Badio is the head of corporate communications. And of course, they are here basically to tell us about something that we've been waiting for a very long time. We've been hearing about the printing and infusion of new currency. For the past months now, we've been hearing about that. So they are here to tell us as to where we are. What's the status of things now? So, Mr. Kokogule Badio, welcome to the program and welcome back home.
Thank you very much, Asaba. It's a pleasure having me on your flagship program, and good to be here.
Yeah, I know. Okay, and also let's welcome Mr. Jalopler. Mr. Jalopler, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. George. It's a pleasure.
Okay. Now let's begin with you, Mr. Jirople. I'm sure you are the key technician we have on this program. Um, we've been hearing about this aspect of the year about the printing and infusion of the new currency. Now, where are we now? Because this is something that has been in the air for quite a long while.
So, thank you again, Mr. George. We are actually on course. We have our implementation plan. We are following that. We are almost there. I can give you and the public the surety that before the end of this month, next month, the end of next month, we would have gotten the first batch of the banknotes. That will include the 20s and the 50s. And then by the first week in October, we'll be receiving the coins. So we are on course with everything. The good news here is that the commercial banks now are taking charge of the new $100 banknotes. They are requesting for that. We have only 1 billion that we have now. We want to clear our reserve vault before the banknotes arrive. So we are certain that the reserve vault would have been, totally, empty to receive the new, family of banknotes in 20s and 50s. So we are right on course.
Okay, so we are right on course. Again, I want you to restate. You said, when are we expecting the first batch?
The first batch we are expecting, it's going to be a beginning. We are saying the beginning of
Next month?
Of next month. Yeah, we are sure of that. We don't want to give you the date because of security reason and the rest of it. But we are sure receiving the 50s and the 20s. Portion of the 50s and the 20s from the beginning of September. And then at the end of September, we're going to be receiving the banknote, or early October, the coins.
Do we know the exact quantity?
Yes. So, again, we always want to be very careful how we release the information, but we can tell you that we're receiving 918 boxes of the 50s and the 20s that will arrive early next month. And as for the coins, we'll give you update by the end of the month when we reappear here, or early, next month. We'll be able to get the details, on the coins. But for the banknote, yes, we are receiving. I can just tell you that we are receiving 918 boxes of the 50s and the 20s.
Okay, now let's hear from Mr. Badio. Mr. Badio, I know we've been hearing about this thing here being the public for a long time now. The printing and infusion of the new currency, and you are responsible to get the public informed. What is the bank planning about the forward engagement? How do you intend to engage the public about this whole process of infusion and printing?
Once again, thank you very much, Saba, for the invitation. Before I go into the response to that question, I like to just provide a little bit of basis for what we are doing. When the new team came in, I'm talking about a team headed by the executive governor, Honorable J. Aloysius Talu. One of the things they set out to do is to make sure that the central bank becomes transparent and accountable in the way it does things. They decided that never again will the central bank be like a zoo bush, where its activities were all in a closet. They decided that this time the people needed to know what was happening at the central bank. And this was a deliberate policy decision which has been backed by the Board of Governors of the central bank.
And so why did they choose to do that?
Well,
because that was not happening before.
That is true. More and more, the central banks have been open up to the public, because it is monetary issues, and the public increasingly wants more information. They want to know what is happening. Of course, we will not be the day-to-day activities every day in the press, but some basic information the public needs to know, like the printing of new money. The public needs to know what is happening. And this is why the central bank under Governor Talu has decided deliberately to inform our people about what is happening in the financial sector, especially those activities which relate to the functions of the Central Bank of Liberia. It is under that breath that we have Money Matters,
Okay.
which you hosted a few weeks ago while we were absent.
Yeah, surely.
Uh,
Just setting in for you.
Yes, that's only one of the reasons why we have that program going on. But let's come back to your question.
Yeah,
What
surely.
is the central bank doing regarding public information about the launch or the public awareness campaign
Yeah.
for the introduction of the new currency? We have a series of activities planned. Of course, these activities have been going on before because we talked about the arrival of $4 billion in November, and then we had another one in February. Those activities have been going on, but this is not a full-scale information and education campaign,
Okay.
which will be starting in Banga, Bong County. That is slated for the 31st. And that full scale will involve a lot of activities. We want to blanket the entire country with information about the new family of banknotes. And that will be the official launch of the currency awareness campaign. It will bring together all of our stakeholders
Okay.
who have very important roles to play in the success of their exercise. So that will be, I believe, the 31st will be on, I believe, Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday
Okay.
in Banga, Bong County. And we'll have a lot of activities, and as we go on, we'll spell out specifically what those activities will involve.
Now, so will the launch just be a one shot, or will you continue the process?
No, certainly it will not be a one-shot deal. This is just the official launch. And it will focus issues or activities both in the print and electronic media. We'll also have the radio stations involved. We'll have a social media presence. But what will happen in Banga next week is a big affair. We'll have, say, marching through the principal streets of Banga. We'll have a float there where messages will be mounted, messages talking about the new currency. We'll have guests from all over the country. We are working with the Ministry of Internal Affairs to make sure that our chiefs, our elders, our superintendents are all present, and to make sure that the message gets out. So we'll have a marching band on those floats that will be marching through the principal streets of Banga. From there, we'll go to the administrative building where the formal program will be held.
Okay.
And we, of course, we have a list of all those who are being invited to that program, which will be given to you as we move on in the discussion.
Why did you select Banga?
Banga is a central point.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning of it. We have other counties like Nimba, Grand Bassa, yes, that in. But since it's a central point, we decided to choose Banga. But this program will not be restricted to Banga. Subsequently, all over the country, we'll have activities going on, awareness activities.
Okay.
We are partnering with the Liberia Media for Democratic Initiatives, the LMDI, and they will be doing public engagements throughout the country. In all of the political subdivisions of this country, there will be public engagements with our stakeholders talking about the new money, what it will look like, how much has been brought into the country. We'll have Mr. Jopez committee, the technical committee. They will be on hand to provide all of the technical information that our people will need as the money arrives in the country. So
Now-
it is not a one-shot deal.
Okay, but can you tell us about the duration? It's a
The duration it has started already, but this is the formal launch.
Okay.
We will go from now up until 2024. So you'll continue to hear about the new money, but in the first phase, which is the first quarter of this year, or the second quarter of this year, you'll hear more about the new money and what the arrival will entail. But it is so this year, 2023 and 2024. Of course, 2023 there will be no new money coming into the country, but you continue to hear more information
and see more money.
and see more money coming in.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Mr. Badio, to tell us as to why does the central bank think it's quite necessary to inform our people in the fashion that you are doing. Now, let's hear from you, Mr. Jinople. Give us a description of the $5 and $10 that are being meted in coins.
We, the Central Bank of Liberia, it took us time to come up with a decision, in fact, to meet the 5 and the 10 into coins. The reality here is that the 5, the lower denomination, are easily mutilated because they are widely used, amongst our, marketeers, the pimping riders, the keke riders. So these are the banknotes that will easily change hands. So we had to, come up with that decision, to meet the lower denomination, starting with the 5 and the 10s in coins, right? Now, so the 5s, the good thing about it is that the 5, like you heard, through the ad, the advertisement, we have the 5 and the 10s. They are very small, they are portable, easily carried. We also have, the metallic, design of the coins, So you have a hologram, on the coins that once you flip it, the 5 and the 10, when you flip, you see the dollar sign 5 or the dollar sign 10.
Okay.
And at some point in time, you see 5 stars appearing. Okay, so these are security features that we actually put, on that we use to meet the coins, so that if anybody, intend to counterfeit, although counterfeit and lower denomination are not the focus of counterfeiters, but we have to put in some security, features, so that at least you see that hologram every time you twist, the coins, you will see the stars appearing, but they are very small. So the 5 is around 19, say 19.2 or 19.3 millimeters, and the 10 is about 23 millimeters. So it's a very small coin. They are portable, easily carry. So you can even have 1,000 of the 5 in your pocket, and I mean it wouldn't cost you any harm, like tearing up your pocket or being very heavy. They are very light, in fact. Yeah.
So you are saying that they are different from the dual coin?
No, they are totally different from the dual coins. In fact, the 5 would be something about 4 times the dual coin.
Okay.
So, but let me add to what Mr. Jopper is saying, Mr. George. The public will have the opportunity to see what the currency look like, because we'll have erected throughout this country, in fact, in 10 of our counties, strategically, the billboards.
Okay.
The billboards will carry features of the new currency. From all of the currency, even the coins and all of that, will be carried on these billboards. And we deliberately selected 10 of our counties, like in Maryland, River G, Sino, Riverses, Grand Jide. I mean, all of those counties will have those billboards erected. So you will not just hear Mr. Jopper tell you how the coins will look, but you will have the chance to see them. Okay. And we selected these rural counties because those are the counties that, when it comes to the channels of communication, they are limited. They have channels of communication which are limited. So we strategically targeted those particular counties to erect these billboards. You may not see billboards in Montserrat. Sure. For instance, you may not see billboards in say, Nimba or Grand Bassa, because those areas are already saturated with information. Okay. So we are targeting mainly those rural counties for these billboards, where you will see basically the features of the new currency that is being brought in.
Okay, still talking about the launch, Mr. Badio, why is the central bank so keen on giving our people the sort of adequate information before the arrival of the banknotes were making reference on the coins?
It is all part of the bank's policy of transparency and accountability. Money is being used by people every day. So you need to inform them. They need to know because they've been using setting amounts of money for a long time. How do you call it? Legacy notes and all of that. Those monies have been used for a long time.
Sure.
And when you bring in new money, they have to know why are you changing the money? What are the benefits? What may be the drawbacks?
Okay.
And all they need to know all those things because if they don't know, it will be difficult for them to just accept the money. So that is why it's important to let our people know exactly what is happening, how soon will the money come? Because one of the problems that our people have had over the past few months is the issue of change, small change. If they don't know why there's no small change, there will always be resentment.
Sure.
They will think it is something deliberate that the government or the central bank is doing.
And
But
doesn't
what-
want to address.
It doesn't want to address.
Surely.
So that is why it's always important to keep them in the know of what is happening.
And
You-
to
okay.
even add to what Sarah said, they're just international best practice.
Okay.
So once you print new banknote, you have to educate the public. Okay, we have a lot of counterfeiters around. I just want to share this experience that we had last week. Okay, one of the commercial banks already started receiving counterfeit in the 500s. Okay, yeah. So in fact, after this program, I'm going to the bank branch, to see the physical, banknote that was that they actually received. So I have to go through the process. They are people to know the banknote, they need to know the design, they need to know the security features. Totally separate, from the counterfeiters, type of people that they use. So in most cases, when people are counterfeit, they just photocopy the banknote. Okay, so we have some security features that are inbuilt into the banknote, for which I have my ultraviolet light that I'm going to go there to test the banknote whether it's actually counterfeit. Because one of the commercial banks actually defaced our real banknote, and they were penalized for doing that. It is a central bank that has the authority to do that. So we can have commercial bank or individual perforating banknote without even testing, without even going through the Central Bank of Liberia. So we want to just sign this as a caveat so that people and commercial banks should be careful how they handle our banknotes. I know the executive governor, he's going to deliver a speech on that date of our launch. These are some of the things that he'll be talking about.
Okay.
We're not going to lie. Some of the things that happened in the past, as we are going through the new reform process, we have to provide the security, the education. We have meeting with some of them already, and the public now we need to engage them. They have to see the banknote and know their banknote as compared to banknote.
Okay, we'll be asking you to tell us about the difference, between the ones we are expecting and the previous one. But before then, let's talk about the security features you indicated that's on the coins. How do I know, although you indicated that it's not in the interest of the counterfeiters, to counterfeit coins, but how do I know that this coin that I've received is the genuine one and it's not the one maybe tampered with?
Yeah, but like I said, counterfeiter interest will not be in lower denomination. So we're not bothered with that, but we have inbuilt security feature that I just told you about. So once you flip the coin, you will see the $5 on the face of the coin. As you flip it further, you see 5 stars taking the place of the 5, the denomination 5 with the $. We take that position. Okay, so we know, we are cognizant of the fact that counterfeiter will not go targeting the lower denomination. So what we did, we decided to protect the bigger banknotes. The new banknote, they always try to counterfeit the new 100, and we noticed it, and the public caught that. In fact, commercial bank, they brought that to us. Okay, you check the money. Look, there's a difference between the software that our printers use as compared to just ordinary people here that people will caught and photocopy banknote. Okay, so we protected our banknote, so well, so much that the public will easily see. There's a window that we have on the banknote. So when you flip it to the light, to a fluorescent light like the one you have in the studio here, you will see there's a window in which we have the seal of Liberia. In that seal, we also have CBL as an electrotype. So when you photocopy, it will never appear. Okay? So I want to weigh the public, that's one education we have to provide to the public.
Okay.
One easy way for to determine that this banknote is a counterfeit. The next thing is that in the thread of the banknote, there are stars. Those stars, as you take the banknote, those stars should be able to move. The counterfeiter will use what we call a foil paper, yeah, and then photocopy that foil paper, and then have so the stars in there will not move. Will not move. Okay. So these are few of the security features that we want to just share, with the public. Easily, you can easily touch the banknote and know that this is a good banknote because the way it was signed, that crisping, kind of a sign we make. The counterfeit banknote can do that. Even for the counterfeit banknote, will not easily open as compared to a real banknote.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, so has the central bank? Okay, yes.
Yeah, no, and to buttress that, there will be video and audio messaging.
Exactly.
People will see what Mr. Dropler is talking about.
Okay.
There will be
At the launch.
Yes, at the launch, but after
Just
the launch,
after
you will
that.
see those images. They will be on Facebook. They will be on our website. They will be streamed live so that you'll see exactly what we're talking about. We have an app on the network. Of course, we are all into social media now, so we have to pull those things out there so that our people can see those. So these are just images that he's talking about, but you'll be able to see them live.
Okay. Now, but Mr. Jirapla, you made reference to one of the banks, being involved with counterfeiting, right?
No, not the
Okay,
bank.
not the bank.
The bank received that from a customer.
From a customer. Now, so
Yes.
has the central bank launched any investigation to determine?
No, so they just sent screenshot to us, right? So I'm going there to see the real banknote. Okay, a few months back, the immigration guys were able to also arrest some Nigerian fellow with our $500 banknote counterfeit. And the good thing about it is that they came to us to establish the genuineness of the banknote, and then we're able to display our gadgets. Okay, going through the test. So the first thing is that for us who been around, being from bulk teller to live tellers, when we touch money, we know that this is a good money. Even the US are the same thing. But there are ways that you can easily, determine whether the banknote is a counterfeit.
Okay.
So we have a UV light. There are features that are built in the banknote. So once you show the UV light, the counterfeit, you already see those features because they are inbuilt, and you just photocopy the banknote. But the real banknote, the seal that you see in the window is also built in the banknote. But you can only see that thing using your UV light,
Okay.
which we talk to the commercial banks. The commercial bank, will easily know that this is a counterfeit. Okay, so there are security features that we easily discover a commercial bank as compared to the public. When you go beyond that, the central bank is sophisticated so much that we have magnifiers that also can pick up those macro texts that are built in the banknote. So we have macro texts that are also built in the banknote that you can only see with a magnifying glass.
Okay.
If I put that way, so the public will understand that. So we are not just bringing out the banknote because it took our time, we took our money to print banknotes. So nobody, will go scot-free when you are caught with counterfeit. We have to go through that, and I'm sure the governor will speak on that as well as we go through the process of launching the banknote.
Now, Cyrus, let's hear from you regarding the activities. First, those who will be in attendance, because I heard that the Liberal Marketing Association and other, financial institutions will be in attendance at the launch in Banga. So, just give us the names of those who will be in attendance, the institutions, and then the major, activities marking the launch as well.
Yes, Soba, that is correct. We'll have in attendance the leaderships of the House and Senate committees on banking. We'll also have the legislative caucuses of Bang, Nema, and Mangibi, heads of commercial banks, the Liberia Bankers Association, county officials led by the Ministry of Internal Affairs. The Ministry of Internal Affairs has really been supportive of this effort. So they will also be there. We also have invited religious leaders, local and traditional leaders are also expected to be there. They've all been invited. We have the leadership of the Liberia Marketing Association, of microfinance institutions, or our money changers, the Money Exchange Association of Liberia. We have the civil servants who will also be there. The association of the Federation of Transport Union with that is responsible for the keke riders. The Motorcycle Union of Bon County, student community, the press, among others. An array of people will be there at the launch on the 31st in Banga. Okay. We want it to be like a carnival affair, if you may, because we want to attract all the publicity that is necessary. And like we continue to say, this will just mark the formal launch. Okay. It will go beyond that. All the 15 political subdivisions of this country will get to know about what is happening. Of course, we've been able to collaborate with the Liberian Media for Democratic Initiative of John Colley. He will be conducting these public engagements, meeting with stakeholders. After those engagements, they will be recorded and they will be rebroadcast on local community radio stations. Okay. We're partnering also with the Association of Community Radios, so as to make sure that these community radio stations carry these programs that will be recorded. Okay. They too will have their own programs locally, where they will be calling us, the central bank, especially the members of the technical committee, to throw more light on the current. So after the launch, certainly there will be more activities, engagement activities, education activities which will be taking place, and we'll be coordinating all of those with the rural community radio stations through their association. Okay,
now, so let's assume that all those people you just called, they all gathered in Bangabon County. What next? What are they going to do? Parade first, and after which, what happens?
Well, the parade will take place in the principal streets, and from there, we all will converge at the administrative building for the formal program. And the formal program will include speeches from those who have been invited, throwing more light on why the awareness campaign and what will be expected in the coming months as the new money or currency arrives.
You're listening to the Super Money Show, rated on the OBC 99.9 and other frequencies across Liberia. Our guests here include William Grande Jilople. Mr. Jilople is the Director of Banking at the Central Bank of Liberia. You also heard Mr. Cyrus Badio. Mr. Badio is the Head of Corporate Communications. In fact, they are telling us more about the printing and infusion of the new currency, the launch of the currency as well, the official launch of the currency that's in Banga Bon County. But one thing is to print, another thing is to infuse. Right. Okay, so Mr. Jilople, let's hear from you. How would the infusion be done?
Yes, so we have communicated this to the general public and to our partners, the commercial banks. What we try to do here is to infuse through commercial banks. Okay, we're in Sierra Leone, and we saw their change over when they tried to redenominate their banknotes. Okay. So we ourselves, we are doing similar thing. As we change the banknote, the public will be eager to receive the new banknote, right? But we still got to be very careful. We still have to, like Sarah said, the thing we want to be transparent, and accountable to the public, because it's for the public good. So we want them to actually be part of this. Okay. But infusion will be done through commercial banks. It is easy, to actually get the records for the commercial bank as to just have an open, field for people to go and exchange money. We want to encourage the public to open accounts with the commercial banks. One, but we have already had discussion with the commercial banks that during the process, we'll be asking you to have a window, at least with all of your branches, have at least one window where, non-account holders can walk in and exchange their old money for new money. Because
that is those who don't have account.
We don't have account. Okay. Yeah, we don't have account.
We don't have
encourage
account.
people to open account. Yeah. Okay. we want people, to open account to have, banking relationship with our commercial banks. Okay, but that means you can easily manage, how you spend your money. So let's just try to open the account, But in the meantime, what we try to do is our commercial banks should have a window where, I can just walk in, say walking customer, and then exchange, with through one of the tellers. And one of the reasons why it is important for the banks, the commercial bank, to have one window, because that particular teller must account for what you receive, what you pay out at the end of the day.
Okay.
So there will be a call over, okay? Because you have a head teller also monitoring all the tellers. So it must be a call over. At the end of the day, you must be able to balance, okay? So we're not going to have a situation where you have somebody that have no account salary, will walk to a commercial bank with millions of Liberian data, and you think that particular person should rush without even identifying whether you have counterfeit, mixed among the bank notes. So that's one of the reasons why we have to be very careful. We are taking our time in this process. We're not rushing. I know the executive governor will announce a deadline, during the launch. That is something I also, anticipating to know, so I can prepare myself to as the director of banking. Okay, but these are the things, these are the way that we have to infuse the money, to the public.
So let's
One of the constraints we will have is for our southeastern and private people in Lofa and the rest of it, because the bar road condition. So it'll be a little bit slower. But as we hit the dry season, it will be massive. We will have to reach out to all the nook and corners of our country to make sure that people can get feel of the banknote, because the banknote is so someone. I know you have seen $100 banknote, but you have much more appreciation when you receive the 500 and the 1,000. Okay, because on the 500 we have the 7 ladies, as the portrait that we're using this time, rather than the 3 traditional chiefs we have. And then for the 1,000 you have the mask, of our tribes. Okay, so you have a fee. The mask, where you can easily identify the marks from Grand Crew. I don't know whether you can remember that. We used to dance those times. So we have the marks, of our individual tribes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so let's assume that the new currency came in at the close of this month,
Right.
at the close of August. How long would the central bank take to ensuring that the new currency is infused in the market, so
Okay.
that our people, in the economy, so that people can get hold of it?
Right. Okay. So let me just take you through the process.
Okay.
So because we want our people, to receive the new banknote before we hit December. Okay. What we try to do is to incur additional costs. Okay. Because you know how long it takes for the banknote to come through the port. So what we try to do this time is to bring the new banknote, from the RIA, hit the Central Bank of Liberia. Will take probably 1 or 2 days, to offload, and then we'll take on 1 week, 5 working days to be able to do validation of the banknote. It's important for you to do validation of the banknote, looking at the replacement banknote against the actual banknote you receive, so that the public will not receive any banknote, that will be defaced. Because during the processes, the printing of the banknote, what happens is that they do some sorting. So the machine will do some sorting, and then the unfit banknote, it was sorted out. And then the printer will have to send us a list of all the banknotes that they replace.
Okay.
So we have to do validation of that process. The validation, process, we do a sample space of the entire replacement banknote that we'll receive. And then after that process, the banking department now will have to request from management, because the stock of money, that consignment, is actually managed by our finance department. Okay, so we have to make a request. Then they will move the money to banking, to infuse. So what would have the discussion? Last discussion we have commercial bank is that they're vote holding. Okay, as soon as we see the banknote, we will swap the entire vote holding in Monrovia, and they will have to move the money to the bank branches, up country. So, and we are working with them, to do that. Okay. Some of the things that we haven't behind the some of the discussion we haven't behind the scene, with our partner, the commercial bank, is that we will try to assist them in that process. I mean, security wise, transportation, we will have to monitor all of those. We're also working with one of the banks, that are working with RCFR, the rural community finance institutions. There are other areas, where we have no bank at all, but we have a commercial bank that liaising with those, RCFIs. So we also have a kind of an MOU that we're signing with them, so that they, in turn will tell how the bank doing it,
Okay.
and they will advise the new way they need to do that.
So, because the government wants to satisfy its citizens, so it is against that backdrop that the central bank will be incurring additional costs to
Of course.
ensure that the money comes in
Of
before.
course, of course, of
before.
course,
That's
yes.
a very good news. Now, Cyrus, the public expectation will be very high after we've done the printing and the infusion now is being awaited. Do you have other strategies in place, Cyrus, to step up, your public engagement so that the people don't, have a problem to say, oh, but we expected that money would have been in at this time, but the money is not in, and so that you don't affect, negatively the expectation of the public.
We will continue to provide information. Like I said, this is not just a one-day affair.
Okay.
The formal launch that will be taking place after that.
Are you intending to increase your airtime, to pay additional money?
And we will do that. We will increase our airtime, and we will also expect that as a public service
You
initiative,
see that?
LBS will also
That's so interesting.
play more and more of
You put it back on my lap. Can you imagine that?
we play more and more of our, but it will not only be restricted to LBS. We'll have other stations within the Monrovia area that will be carrying our messages, and I hope you can play the second message that we sent, because it's not only those are simple English messages. We'll also have messages in the vernaculars, all of the vernaculars you will hear. We were also working with Julia Andy. In fact, Julia Andy has made a song. You will also hear that on the radio. If there are institutions which we've not reached out to, please feel free to let us know so that we can include you, because this is a national affair. We want to make this a national priority. So we want for every institution to be involved in the messaging that will be coming out after the formal launch of the campaign in Banga on the 31st.
Okay, before we play this jingle or this message, let me go back to Mr. Jalopler to answer this question, because it's very, very important. I don't want to lose sight of it. Would there be any difference in value between the old currency and the new ones? Would there be any difference in value?
So the old currency, in terms of value, they still maintain the same value. 5 is 5, 10 is 10. Okay, what we experience, what we notice here is that because of the shortage of the 5 and the 10s, the marketing, the marketers have actually increased the value of their commodities. But once the 5 and the 10 hit, the borders of our country, that will change. Okay. We saw that in Ghana. Okay, when Ghana redenominated, we saw that. Okay, the pesewa now they have things for that you can buy with the pesewa, as compared to the cedis. Okay, the same thing here. So our banknotes have the same value. Okay, the value have not actually changed. We have the 5, the 10s, the 20, the 50s, the 100, the 500. The only new currency we introduce will be the 1,000. Banknote. And that 1,000 and the 500 are the denomination that is easily used in our ATM machines. Okay, so you want to have a feel of the 1,000. What like I said last time, what I would try to present to management is, once we have the 500 and 1,000, no need for me to spend money again to input $5 and $10, US dollar in the country. Okay. So that people will want to appreciate the banknote, to get hold of a banknote. If you can see 5 and 10, I mean, there's no reason why somebody can give you change in Liberian dollar. Okay. I was the last time, I got in Banga, and they were pricing, the goods in US dollar in Banga. I said, no, for me, as the director of banking, I don't try with US dollar, I try with Liberian dollar.
Surely. So
you have to do the conversion of paying Liberian dollar. Let people appreciate the new Liberian dollar banknote, and let them most time carry the new Liberian dollar banknote. That so many things will be preaching to people. Okay. Once you have the 500, why would you want to do with $5, US dollar $5 banknote? That will gradually change the expectation, of our people that carrying US dollar is more valuable than carrying Liberian dollar. No, we have to change that perception.
Okay. Now, before we play this, let's do the clarification. Does the bank have any plan in meeting 20, dollar coin? Do you have any intention of that? Because that's very the public.
So actually that was the thinking of the technical, committee on currency reform, the TCCR. Okay, but we were advised to do it gradually. Okay. So the 5 and the 10s are the ones that we actually meet it in coins.
Okay.
Gradually, when we get to the 20s, we also have to, because it means that as the Liberian dollar, gets, once we devalue the lower denomination, you have to increase the value of the higher ones.
Okay.
So that for instance, we are doing 1,000 now. We might want to do 2,000, in the future. Okay. So at that point in time, the 20 now will be meter house coin. Okay. And before we go, Josh, the importance of meeting coins, okay, the lower denomination, like I said the last time, because the lifespan of the coins is up to 15 to 20 years. Okay, as compared to the bank notes,
yeah.
The bank notes, that by maximum 5 years, the bank note is already mutilated. Okay, so we will get to that level, as we go on.
Okay, so let's play this and then we'll be back. Listening to the SMS right here on UOBC 99.9. Okay, it seems that we can continue with that. Okay, let's just leave it at that. I'm sure we'll get that corrected in our subsequent program. But let's try to open the lines quickly. Like I said, our guests here include Mr. Cyrus Kokogla-Badu. Mr. Badu is the head of corporate communications at the Central Bank of Liberia, and Mr. William Grant Jilople. Mr. Jilople is the director of banking at the CBL. They've been providing us adequate information relative to the printing and meeting and printing and infusion of the new currency, and the launch of it, which should be taking place in Banga Bonkari anytime next week. That's on Wednesday. I'm sure that's on Wednesday. We'll all be gathering in Banga. I don't know what I do. I have invitation, but maybe before the end of the program, Cyrus will tell me what I'm invited on.
Yes, of course, Saba, you're always invited, but we'll extend an official invitation to you to be there. Before you receive your calls, let's inform you that this whole campaign is targeting not less than 10 million of our people.
Okay.
To get the messaging. So that is when, in fact, as we speak to you, as we're speaking to you, the head of our technical committee of the currency reform, Mr. Musa Kamara, will be appearing on the MICAT press briefing today.
Okay.
So to give you at least a larger platform to talk to our people about the currency changeover awareness campaign.
Okay. So 0776 540-987. Better still, 0880-514-096. Good morning.
Good morning, Shoma.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Cyrus.
Good morning.
My name is Amos. I'm hearing from the public that as of the first week of September, the coin is distributed. It's on the street I'm hearing this. Is it true? That's my question.
That's the first week in September?
Yes.
That the coins will be distributed?
Yes.
That's what you are hearing?
In the the street.
Yes.
Okay, in the streets. Okay, they'll clarify that for you. Let's take this call on the line quickly. Good morning. Good morning.
How are you and your team doing this morning?
Yes, we are okay. Go right ahead quickly.
Well, my name is Douglas William. I joined the conversation from Ambassador.
Just go right ahead.
Okay, my concern is doing up to the point, so, sorry to the joke of give people back.
Hello? It seems like you are not ready. Let me take this other call on the line. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Sorry, Jordan. Good morning to the studio guest. My name is Ollie Ramsey Tuba, and I called this morning from Kingsway.
Okay.
I listened to your studio guest. Yeah, there's some problem in the deliberation. One, I listened to, I don't know if you hear the communication, so he said he made some advice to the governors that say you have 1,000, there's no need for the $5. The product can think for us, I don't know that what the country is going this week. Secondly, let the senior them be informed that on the Lagos market that $5, $10, $20, and $50 on the Lagos market completely. Let it be informed. Without only talking about only $5 and $10. Thank you very much.
Many thanks. They'll respond to that. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm Hezekiah Ubriggs calling from Grand Basel County.
Let's hear from you.
You know, Sabo, we the Liberians, we are suffering when it comes to change. Sometimes you go and buy something in the market, and then your money have been left with the market because there is no change. And the central bank, they are making fun out of us. Because for me, I can listen to Money Matter. The last time they told us that the first week in September, the coins will be here. The only problem that we're having is we're having problem with the airline, and they are going to sort that out. Up to now, they are telling us October again. So they are just making fun of us. They can't on the radio, they give different information, and then, next time they come again, they give different information again.
Okay, they'll give you the order, the real one today, yeah? Be listening now. So be listening. They'll clarify that to you. They'll clarify that. They'll tell you the exact time. Yeah. Okay. Let's take this one. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sebo. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. This is Ishmael Isaac James, MRU, and I'm calling from Foya, Lower County, Nigeria.
Just go ahead.
Thank you. I actually appreciate the studio guests. Yeah, I appreciate the studio guests for their nice explanation, awareness carrying on for us to be aware of such a thing. I thank you. You have to take your time to do things because when you don't do the proper thing, we will end up criticizing you for a long time. It's better to criticize you for a short time than you do something that will not be valued. Then we bring it out in the public that will start to criticize you. We are expecting by October for the $5 and the $10 to be in the market because that's been the issue now in the county. So thank you so much for your explanation this morning. God bless you.
Okay, many thanks. Let me take this caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Bobby. I just calling from Duburo.
Let's hear from you, Bobby.
Thank you. I called to inform your studio guests that please, my recommendation, there is a need to call the community radio stations manager for a conference to create awareness about this money. Why is true, I heard you talking about the LMDI and ALICO, the community radio station. Even the PUL do not have control over all the community radio stations. My background is community radio station, and we've got the community radio stations in Maryland County. The Southeast, I got control over the guys. We have been cooperating and other things. One serve as coalition officer for the PUL. So I recommend to you, Honorable Cyrus Webadu and your colleagues, please get involved. The community radio stations managers that they will be able to go back to disseminate the information. As we speak now, not much awareness about these coins in Rainbow G County. I spoke with the superintendent in Rainbow G, Grand G, and that was Maryland counties. I don't want it to be like the Ministry of Health
that we have to beg them and other things. The Voice of Hope radio station will always relay this program in people, Southern districts. We don't want $5 from you people. It is government initiative. We're always willing to work along with you people. So please let us be meeting with managers from community radio station for this big program that is on here. Thank you.
Many thanks. Let's take this call on the line. Okay, this other caller is there. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. George.
Yeah, let's hear from you quickly. Your name.
Okay, my name is Benjamin Ward, and I'm from Maryland County.
Okay.
Opposite Maryland. I have a question two questions for the studio guest. I want to ask the studio guest, is the government of Liberia or the central bank adding all the money or the attention money? If this is the way the people can change money in other countries to have the old currency in place and bring a new one added on it. So that's my question.
Okay, they'll answer your question. Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
Good morning. My name is El Chico Fawunde. I come from the Oro. Okay, my question, I have two questions. The first one is that have our people from Central Bank ever realized why developing nations don't go for higher denominations such as 1,000 and they always stick to the smaller denominations? The second one is that they realize that the reason why things are always high is because of the denomination that is providing the economy. If you start at 5, it means that people want to start at 5 on the set. There will be nothing at $1, there will be nothing at 50 cents, there will be nothing at 25 cents. So they realize those things. That's my questions. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Okay, let's take this last caller quickly. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Okay. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yes, my name is Wellington. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Okay, let's hear from you, sir.
I have one suggestion to make to the government through you. The director was talking about making a Liberian dollar, of some values that the U.S. dollar would not be given more weight over it. One way it can be done is we use dual currency. But if you want to change to buy something in U.S., they will not give you the current price of the exchange. They will give you more. Why don't we have, for instance, now it's about 150 to 152. If you want to buy anything and the price is in U.S., they should calculate in 152 instead of giving a buying price for U.S. for 155 or something like that. I don't know what the technicality. Maybe you will explain to us, the public. If not, it will be good. One exchange rate for everything. Thank you.
Many thanks, many thanks. So let's go back to our guests, Mr. Badu and Mr. Jinople, to respond to all the concerns raised. Mr. Badu, Mr. Jinople?
Well, I think Jinople had more questions.
exactly, all right. So I just want to provide this clarity before I respond to all the other concerns from the public suburb. So the last caller, I think he understood me well. One of the reasons why he was talking about pricing things in US dollars, and that the price, will be more as compared to, when you want to buy in Liberian dollar. So there's a caller who were concerned about that I said we will not bring the 5 and the 10, but we will be bringing in the 50s, the bigger denominations. No, so what I was just trying to say here is that no need for me to import US dollar 5 and 10s. If I have 500 and 1,000, there'll be no need, because the 500 is almost equivalent to our 1,000, right?
Okay.
So there'll be no need to just to import, because importing US dollar, we spend money to import US dollar. So that was I just want to provide a clarity. Okay, and another clarity I want to provide here is that somebody said in the street they heard that the coins of the car first week in September. No, that's not true. Okay, we have always said here that we expecting the bank and the coins to come the second half, of the year. Okay, but the discussion, sometimes you don't want to come and provide information to the public when you're not settled down with the printer. Everything we do here, depends on what the printer will tell us. Okay. Sure. We don't have our own, printing, company somewhere where we have control over. Okay. So we normally negotiate, with the printer on trying to shorten the length of time it would take to print and bring in the morning. Okay, so we are setting now. We have all of the back and forth discussion with the printers, and they are giving us a definite time that the banknotes and the coins will arrive.
Okay.
We still want the public to be a little bit patient. We know everyone is going through the thing. Everyone is experiencing the same thing. Okay, but you have to be a little bit patient. I always say that all the potholes that you go through, someone to leave from here, David Junior comes here. When the roads are fixed, you never think about the bar, the bar rules and the bar pass that you use. Okay, so let our people be a little bit patient. We are almost there, and we can assure them that the money, the banknote, and the coins will be here, before December. So that's a given fight.
Okay.
As we hit the first week of next month, they will see signs, of the banknotes coming to the country. So let us just be a little bit patient. We went through it already, the rough road, there are big times, when the good roads, will come. So let's be a little bit patient, over that.
Okay.
Yes,
Sorry.
so I just want to address Bobby. Bobby talked about the need for us to also engage with managers of community radio stations. Certainly we'll do that, although we're working through the association of community radios, but certainly we will also engage community radio stations, so you can rest assured if whatever the concerns are, our office is open so that we can discuss this, because this is a massive affair.
Sure.
This is the first time we are getting in this huge amount, 48.7 billion. That's
A lot
massive.
of money.
Yes, so we want all hands on deck. So certainly we'll welcome any support we can receive from any of these community radio stations or media institutions. So again, the formal launch is on the 31st in Banga. Bond County, a very massive affair. Radio stations are invited, or newspapers are invited, and that will begin the beginning of messaging that will blanket the entire country.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is something that never been witnessed before. We want this message to get into every nook and corner of this country.
Well,
So, I
Yeah,
need to
fine.
respond to the caller from Maryland County.
okay. Quickly.
Yes. So we are. The thing is that we are changing the money. We're not adding up the old money. Okay. So his thinking is that we are, because he see the old money and new money, still being used side by side. He feel we want to add up the old money. So we are totally changing. The old money will be removed, and we are doing that gradually. Okay. We have already destroyed up to 3.7 billion Liberian dollar of the mutilated banknotes. We have subject to come from commercial bank on 1.5 billion. So we talk in terms of having almost 5.2 billion, right? That we have already gotten. Our target is 23 billion that we have in circulation. From all the statistics that we meant, saying we have 23 billion in circulation. So as we hit the halfway mark, there will be a deadline, there will be a time, there'll be time for us to announce that, look, the old money now will be removed from the market. You can only exchange the old money at the Central Bank of Liberia, period.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mr. William Grant Jalopla. He's the Director of Banking at the Central Bank of Liberia. You also heard Mr. Saros Badu. Mr. Badu is the Head of Corporate Communications.
No need to rough in this one. You people are very unprofessional. Don't you know this sort of thing?
Chicken microphone name.
Hello listeners, do you want to study at a prestigious university in India with huge scholarships? Here is an opportunity to meet
Mention your
city
name
university
and
representatives
both the
in
contact numbers.
Monrovia.
Give it
The university representative
Repeat
will be here
the
from
contact
the
number.
22nd
Our
of
contact
August
numbers
to
are
the
there.
30th of
Repeat 2-3
August
times during the program.
2022 at Royal Destiny
Repeat
Multi-Purpose
contact numbers
Consultancy
2-3
located
times during the
GSA
program.
Junction, Pittsfield, Monrovia, Liberia.
Yes.
For more information,
Yes.
please contact
I'm
plus
giving you my contact
231
numbers
555
during the program. Please repeat the numbers 2 or 3 times so that listeners can get our contact number.
776
Also,
Yes.
But he said he want to share his number so the people can know how to get to them. But when on the show, I think that
You can do it. You can do it yourself.
Hello listeners, do you want to study at a prestigious university in India with huge scholarships? Here is an opportunity.